Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. So happy to find you here. Welcome to any new subscribers. I appreciate having your subscription. Bring a friend with you next time. I haven't been good about promoting my other stuff. So go to Amazon, you'll find my books. And please, you guys need to read my About Me page because I'll tell you this video is also addressing questions that came from this past video on the Matrix, which is why I'm uploading it right now because I actually recorded that like months ago and I just got around to uploading it. But I don't understand why you guys just don't ask questions in the comment section. I don't know why, but I get a lot of more private, like unpublished, I'll put. I shouldn't call it private. Unpublished comments, but some of them were the same about this Matrix video that I just did. So I just decided to address those. It was three that kept coming up. So I am posting this on Friday for Thursday because I have a lot of things on my calendar. I'll put it that way, that I was not able to do this on yesterday, Thursday. So you guys are going to get two videos today, or Thursday, yesterday, and Friday. I catch myself up. I will not be in debt to you guys. I keep my promise. I keep my word. My word is my bond. If you haven't seen the video on the Matrix, which I just posted on Monday, I will drop it into the description box for you and into the comment section for you because I got you like that. So that you can know the reference by which these questions came about. And talking about the Matrix and juxtaposing it with our life circumstances and situations that not in every life, but in many lives, you will eventually find yourself in a what I call, well, they call it, they say, I'm in a pickle or that kind of thing, but a situation by which you don't really have control and you really don't want the situation to even exist, but it does exist and you have to deal with it and you don't have control of the outcome, is what I'm saying. And if it's bothersome or heartbreaking at the same time, it could force a person into depression and anxiety. And those are natural things, by the way. Those are natural things because we're human. And we live in an imperfect world and an imperfect society, and we are part of that. And the best that we can do is be the best that we can. So I'll put it that way. But if you have that situation by which you have something in your life that you prefer not to have had, but it's there, and you find yourself in the turmoil of that, is what I was addressing in that last video. The questions that came up, the three that were dropped into the non-public um, view, and that is when I referenced after you complete a matrix, which to me, a matrix is like a dark night of the soul, or you're going through a turbulent time. Why did I reference when you complete the matrix? If you reunite with someone, or you return back to work, if you have a reunion with something, with someone, or reunion with a relation with a relative, it doesn't have to even be a love partner, a recovery on a job, that kind of thing. Why did I make reference that you would even go back to that? So I'll say this to that. I did say many times in that video that that choice now becomes yours. And the reason that I said recovery or reunite or reunion or recalibrate or even return is because when you do go through something like that, I look at it like this. Your life was here and it took you around the other way to get your life. Now you're done with so let's do it again. Your life is here and it took you around that. So you went counterclockwise. Now you have to start your life from that point on, now that you're finished that matrix period. So people typically don't keep going that way. They go right back and sit their life back in place. Now that's very typical. You can research that on your own. That is the simple version of the cycle. And you can research that on your own. The reason I said return to or reunite with, it's an option if you do or not. But as a person goes through this journey or this dark night, or they have time to reflect those things that they do want or do not want. And the journey is about, should you heal that or not? And whether or not the person or the job or the mother, the father, whoever that is by which you might try and reconnect, they almost always will be receptive, because most of the time, not 100% of the time, but most of the time, they were waiting for you in the first place. Most of the time, they cherished you in the first place. They didn't understand it. They didn't get you. You got away, moved away, walked away. And your return is almost like a father to the prodigal son. That father ran out and had a celebration because he wanted that son back. And so this matrix recalibration gives you that opportunity, should you decide to take it, to have that. So question 2 was, you seem to say nothing will be a no to you, that they will reconnect with you. How sure are you about that? So nothing's for sure. I try to cement the fact that if you truly had a dark night of the soul or a matrix-like experience in your life by which everything went topsy-turvy and like that, if you really had that, and if you really completed that, meaning you are now whole and healed from that, there is nothing by which stands in your way anymore. So that's what I was trying to say. There's nothing that stands in your way. It's almost like saying, as you approach the door's already open. As you approach the red light, it just turns green. You will find yourself in a flow of things. And when you speak to someone, perhaps you run into it, you haven't seen it in a long time, their connection just happens. Because you're in your zone. You are in what I call your Zen zone. Now, the thing is to keep that healthy. And that's why I said also in the video, you have to protect your energy. And to keep that healthy, and keep that well, and keep that, what I call, these are my words now. For me, this is what I choose to do. Keep that sacred. Nothing is more important than that. Because after all, you worked hard in developing yourself for that. You worked hard in epitomizing your life, bringing your life into a position that instead of topsy-turvy, you're on the top. You're on the top. And so cherish that and pick the people by whom you decide to re-invite in your life. Should you do that? Pick them knowing that they are re-invited to stay for life now. This is why I've seen sometimes a person would divorce someone. And then 10 or 15 years later, they'll happen to run into each other and reunite. Because now whatever broke it before, whatever didn't work before, maybe they matured out of it, maybe they're both available, and it just works. So that part. So I won't spend a lot of time into the delving of that. You can research all this on your own. But the third thing was the comment of, what was the third one? I want to get it right. Oh, that's a good one. The third one was, if I wanted to like reunite with my family, or I'll use the prodigal son. I'm just the prodigal son. Because he ran off, if you don't know the story, he ran off, give me my lot now, and I'm running off with it. He came from a wealthy family. And he went and splurged it up supposedly and had a good time and found himself eating with the swine by which used to, the workers that used to work for him and his father and his brother. He had to contemplate, should he return back home? And if he did, would he even be received? And so there was a struggle and a wrestle as to if I should even do that. I made such a mess of it, relationship with my father. But he found it within himself the strength, the courage, the wherewithal to say, I'm going back to my father's house. I'm living worse than the swine. And there's no reason for him to have been living that way. He's going back home. His father ran after him. His father embraced him. So the issue of timing is very important because let's say I said earlier, the two people who had divorced for 15 years or so, and then they got back together. If that had happened and one was still married, they wouldn't have reconnected. It would have gone like this, like a ship in the night. They don't connect. But when they are both available and the timing and the working of it, this is the universe. I've given many talks on this. Go back and I have 400. Yeah, I have 400 videos. I don't know where they are. They're in there. But this is the synchronization of it. This belongs to the universe, getting both of the individuals together. And when they come together, it's just like this. It just flows. Even if they move their hands, it will go like this. They would just continue to be connected together. Nothing would break them. They would just stay in harmony. They would just like that. It would just come together. But if the timing is off, it would miss. It would not connect. It would be like two ships in the night going the opposite directions. And you're like, oh, well, I want that person. They're on that ship over there. And now that ship is in the night going the opposite direction. This is what I mean when I say you have the choice, but you don't have the choice of the outcome. The choice of the outcome belongs to the universe. So when you decide to, like the prodigal son, give it some thought. Don't give it too long a thought, because now you're dealing with the timing. Now you're dealing with the timing. That means you're dealing directly with the universe. The universe doesn't negotiate the outcome. Okay? Hey, the universe does not negotiate the outcome. This is why you are to stay ready. This is why we are to stay in ready position. Because the universe is saying, I have prepared you for this. You need to go back changed and able to communicate that change. And the person can hear you. And vice versa for the person. Change and communicate that. Whatever you couldn't tolerate before, you can tolerate differently now, is what I meant by that. Now, this question wasn't asked, but this question has come up so many times in the past, and so I'll make mention of it also here. Most of the popular topics on YouTube, if it's not some crazy old funny stuff that somebody's acting a pure fool, I don't know why people are so interested in spending their time in watching that, but hey, that's where all the views are. But in personal development and topics of interest that have some sense of substance, the most common ones are when a person is hearing from a star, like a famous person, and talking about their personal life, which humanizes them to the viewer. Or it's about relationships, meaning husband-wife partner relationships, loving relationships. Or it's about sibling rivalries or family issues. And lastly, it's about work problem. Those are the four common ones. Now, the first one, I do not have any input, which is the famous person talking about their life. But the other three fall into my genre of work, meaning the relationship at work and with others, relationship with family members, relationship with partners, relationship with the work. Because the thing is, if nothing else, the human resource piece of it has to capitalize on the human part. You are to be a resource for that. And most never even look at it like that. When I shifted my own view as to how I could be more substantive, of great substance, because I was already a person who would do something about something. If you brought something, I'll take care of it. And that built a great deal of confidence. And I'm just that way in life. But I'll put it this way. when you become a resource for human, I look at myself as my life is to be contributory of service to just humanity, and yours too, if you take that on. But when you take that on, you get into this area of relationships, and things don't always turn out the way that you want or the way that you like. But it's not to mean that you stop caring or giving up on that. And so, from that, I will say this in the end: people want better relationships. The problem with that is they see everything that he or she or you or I should change and fix, and never themselves. So they never acquire that better relationship. It's everything you did. It's every time I speak to someone and they talk to me about a relationship they had, or past girlfriend they had, or past boyfriend they had, they tell me and they say how it ended. It's everything that person did, and it's never anything they did. And until we are able to be accountable for that and recognize our own parts, then you will continue recycling relationships and not really having a great, healthy one. And that's the part that I didn't put. That's a question that wasn't asked, but that's the part that I think is important, because more than anything, people want to know how to have a very healthy, happy, loving, almost model-like relationship where you see this couple and you go, what a great couple. But they're not doing the part to contribute to that. They want the other person to come ready on that. And it never works that way. So I'm going to end here, but I'll say this. If you do reunite, have a reunion, return to a relationship, or even a family member, or even someone that you slighted, you slighted, and they are not receptive to you, it is not a no, it's that they're not ready. This is why I say the timing piece is so important. You don't play with the time when you don't play with the time when the person shows up. You are to have an open heart. We are to have an open heart, because you hear better from your heart than you do your ears or your mind. Your mind starts thinking, what's this person? Why is this person contacting me? Why is it? Your mind starts thinking that. That is wrong right there. That's stop. That is wrong. Because this is that person. Your reaction is wrong. You are to hear the words, but when you hear from your heart, you are able to receive them without inquiry from your mind. Don't get in the way of a perfect thing, or what the universe finds to be a perfect thing for you, is what I meant by that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've gotten this far, please click subscribe. Please click like. Please make a positive comment. I'll see you next time. And yes, I don't always give details and lengthy. I don't do long talks. If I do a talk past 15 minutes, I surprise myself. I think I'm at 15 minutes. I just wanted to, I just said a minute. I just wanted to, oh, I shouldn't chew gum. I was chewing gum. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, time to go. Bye. I love you guys. Bye. Click subscribe. Girl, you know better. You do not chew gum when you're recording.